Howdy. Did you enjoy the Ballad of Yukon Jake? Hope that you did. That was one of two poems that I heard my grandfather recite that got me back into poetry after a long time of being away. And this next one today is actually related to the Ballad of Yukon Jake. You may recall that Paramore begged the pardon of Robert W. Service. Now, Robert W. Service was a British-Canadian bank clerk who, several turns in his career, found himself in the Yukon Territory during the gold rush. Fell in love with the place, wrote about it, short stories and poetry. Some critics called his poetry a little pedestrian. Service always referred to it as just verse. But regardless of the arguments of quality, nobody could argue that he captured the spirit of the time and place beautifully. Paramore begged his pardon because Paramore actually borrowed the structure of this poem for the Ballad of Yukon Jake. And he gave a little nod to it inside that poem. You may remember the lines, "And the barkeep vowed to that Harborough crowd that he'd cremate Sam McGee." That's what we're going to do today. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert W. Service. There are strange things done in midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. And the northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marsh of Lac La Barge that I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. And why he left his home in the South to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. It was a Christmas day. We were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk of your cold through the parka's fold, stabbed like a driven nail. And if our eyes we closed, then the lashes froze till sometimes we could not see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, dogs were fed, and stars overhead were dancing heel and toe. He turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, ask that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low I couldn't say no. And then he says with a sort of moan, "It's this cursed cold and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last need is a thing to heed, and I swore that I would not fail. We started on at the streak of dawn. God, he was ghastly pale. He crouched in the sleigh, and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. Before nightfall, a corpse was all was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In days to come, though my lips were dumb, my heart, how I cursed that load. And in the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. And on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad. But I swore I would not give in, and I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lac La Barge, where a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying round, and I heaped the fuel higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. And I took a hike, for I did not like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear. The stars came out, danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and it's time I looked, and I opened the door wide. And there sat Sam, looking calm and cool, in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and storm. Since I left Plum Tree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. Yeah, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, and the Arctic trails have their secret tales that make your blood run cold. And the northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lac La Barge that I cremated Sam McGee. Thank you very much. Y'all stay warm out there.